Hello, how are you? You're so welcome here today, and I am talking about my very, very, very favorite topic. I am talking about selling. I love sales, and it's not really a mistake. Anybody that knows me knows that I get a little bit excited about sales. So today I'm going to particularly focus on the mindset of sales and what's needed to change up here to change the amount that is sitting in your bank account or the amount that you're receiving. So for those of you who are watching live, feel free to pop any questions or comments into the chat box, and we're going to get started. So the one of the first things I want to say is that, and this can seem a bit harsh, it is that whatever you're currently receiving, however much money you're currently making, is the amount that you are actually available for. It's the amount of, people pay for the value that they see in our services. So the amount that you're actually getting paid is the amount that you're available for and the amount of value that you see in yourself. So if you want to bring in more money, you have to up the amount of value that you believe that you have and the amount of value that you believe that what you do for people is valued at. And it's got nothing to do with your sense of self-worth. It's not people aren't buying you, people are not, you can't put a price on your worth because, you're priceless. So it's about the actual value that you perceive. So I really believe, one of my clients was recently asking me, I really need help to close the sale. And in the past, I have had some resistance to that actual term. It always feels very, very, very masculine. There's that movie from years ago that talked about close sales, all about, I can't remember what the movie was now, and it's about push harder, push, close the sale, and it's usually in a very masculine corporate kind of environment. And so I kind of moved away from that expression of closing the sale, but that is actually what's needed. But what came to me today when I was thinking about doing this call is that what we need to do is to open our heart so we can close the sale. And I really believe that is a fundamental key to it, that the more that it's really all about love, that it really all is about being of service. And the more we're of service, the more value we give in the world, the more that will come back. It won't always come back directly from the person we have served. It will often come from some other direction that maybe we're not expecting. So I love I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Florence Scovel Shinn. She wrote the book, it's many, many, many years ago, called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And there's a part in there that has said that I cannot win what is not mine by divine right. And I cannot lose what is mine by divine right. And that means by divine right, talking about source, God, universe, whatever it is, whatever the higher power is that you believe in, that it is as it is. So you could have the most ideally perfect person on the other end of the phone in your eyes, and no matter what you say or do or offer, they may not be yours to enroll. And they're also the same thing goes for somebody that you actually can't mess it up when somebody is by divine right meant to be working with you. So it's not there to, I don't share this with you so you can just not work on improving your sales skill, because selling is a skill. We're not born taught how to sell. We don't it is something we learn, and we're actually selling all the time. We're selling, maybe getting our kids to set the table or clean up after dinner, or maybe we're selling when we go on a date. We're selling ourselves to a certain extent. Don't take that the wrong way, but you know what I mean. We're always selling ourselves, but when it comes to business, suddenly, particularly for women, suddenly when it comes to actually asking for the sale, we can completely shut down and not want to go to that mark where, we tend to be very good at the service bit, the bit of, really helping people out and everything, but very often, and I used to do this when I first started selling, particularly at a higher end price tag, I would just really rush that bit and want it over with, and then say, oh, get back to me if this sounds like a good idea to you. And of course, they just disappear. And then I'd really practice following up and everything. And, when it comes down to it, I mean, sales are very often made before you even get on the phone. So the warmer somebody is, the more exposed they are to you. I often have a free call, a clarity call with somebody they've already decided they want to work with me. They've been maybe watching Facebook Lives, or maybe watching webinars, or been on my website for quite a while, or maybe been in my free group for quite a while, and they've been watching, and then when they decide, I really need a business coach, I really need to learn how to get more clients and make more sales, and if they resonate with what I'm saying, by the time we have a conversation, they've kind of already decided they're going to do it. They might not know what the price tag is, or they might be wondering, can they afford it or whatever, but they've already kind of decided. And so it's, we put an awful lot of pressure on ourselves on a sales conversation to, close that sale and get that sale, when a lot of it's predetermined, whether that's a yes or no. And it's been, those of you that know me know that I'm always saying, just be detached from the outcome. It's not our job to be attached to what happens. So what I like to do before I get on a call with somebody, and this is the same maybe before writing an email, or before writing a Facebook post or some other kind of social media post, is actually just to really kind of center myself, ground myself, and say some mantras to myself, and just really work on opening up my heart, opening up the heart, so that it comes from a big heart space, and not from a sort of that more, from a very feminine place, and not from that more aggressive kind of masculine kind of push, hustle kind of place. I hope this makes sense. So kind of mantras, if you've got any mantras that you say to yourself quite often, feel free to pop them in the comments box, because I'd love to see them. And some of the ones that I have, favourite one that I'm always saying to myself is, the universe has my back. I say that quite frequently. The universe has my back. And there's a few others that can be really useful. And one that I also love, that is quite a common one that people use, is that, everything is always working out for me. And I say that like very often, several times a day, that, and along with the universe has my back. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is as it should be. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is lining up beautifully. So even if you're not seeing results in this very moment, you'll know that it's working out for you. There's a plan. The universe has a plan. God has a plan. Source has a plan, and it's all working out for you. And the more that you can step away from ego, step away from attachment, step away from really needing that. And I know the reality is, very often when we look at our bank accounts, we're just like, but I do need the money. The reality is, I do need the money, but it takes stepping away from that real need that allows it to happen so much more, because people sense that. People sense that grasping kind of energy, that kind of needing kind of energy. And when you can just be totally fine, equally as delighted with a no as with a yes, it's just such a different energy. Because if you're If you need your clients more than they need you, it's never going to work. Even if you get really clever at selling and manage to get them across the line and manage to get them to pay some money, it won't work out. They need to need you more than you need them. I'm just having a look at some of the questions here. I need to get some sales of something. Yes. Well, I hope this is helping you. I hope this is helping you to get in the mindset of getting some sales, and maybe just be instead, I'm open to receiving, and I thank what is coming to me, and I trust, having faith, really believing that it's there. So you know you have the skills that people need. You know you can help people. And it makes perfect sense to me. And then I can feel, because I need some sales, that I'm coming from a scary energy. Any tips? So I'm not sure if that was written before. I just said the last thing, so let me know if that's helped you at all. And it's about really, really centering and grounding yourself before you go and put yourself out there, before you do any posts, before you send out an email. And I find things that help me, just doing the morning pages, doing those 3 pages of journaling in the morning, emptying out my mind of all the clutter and all the busyness, and then doing some mindset work around any particular kind of negative thoughts that come up, and really working with that and really asking, is that true? Is that really true? And what could I choose to believe instead? What thought would serve me better than that one? And practice replacing it. And so even if you looked at what you've said there, I need some sales. I need some sales. And just ask yourself, is that really true that you need some sales? How about if you change that instead to, I'm opening to receiving money from wherever the universe decides to send it from. Because when we grasp onto needing sales, we're saying, like, I want money and I want it just from this place here, just from somebody is going to pay me money. There are so many other ways that money can come to you, and being really open to that. You can receive a gift, you can find some money, you could win some money, all sorts of things could happen. So really open yourself up to that, up to being open to however money is going to come to you, to open yourself up to abundance, and really trusting it's coming. And let me know if that helps. And yeah, and just noticing the fact that you have scary energy around it can really help. And really try just not to give yourself a hard time about that, because very often we just judge ourselves about that. So instead of saying, I'm noticing that I'm feeling a bit of fear around money at the moment, so I'm open to doing things a little bit differently. So then have a look for maybe a sign from the universe, a sign from God that there's money. You might just notice like 5 cents or 5 pence on the ground, and so there's a sign. There's a sign that money is there for me. You pick it up, you hold on to it, thank it, kiss it, whatever, put it in your purse and say thank you. I often find if I'm feeling scarcity around money, a few different things I do. One, definitely decluttering. Definitely go and get rid of some stuff. I think, like, is there anything that you can sell? Like this time of the year, very often you can actually sell something that you haven't actually thought of that somebody else could use that you don't need anymore. There can, it could be you might find that you've got a voucher sitting somewhere for something. You think like, okay, I could use that voucher for this instead of actually spending money on it at the moment. Just go on a little bit of a hunt, a little bit of a treasure hunt, and see what's actually sitting there under your nose that you might not notice at the moment, because we get very fixated on getting money from a new client. I've got to get a new client. That's the way that I earn money. That's the way it's got to be. And also then go and offer like a workshop next month, find something that you already have created that you could put out a special offer on, and just see it as a bit of a game of putting your stuff out there and saying like, oh, I wonder who's going to buy that, or I wonder who this could help. And another thing I would often do is just go help somebody. Just go find somebody in a group somewhere, somebody that looks stuck, and just send out a message saying, like, I'd really love to help you with that, like totally unconditionally. I'd love to help you with that. Because when you help somebody, it will come. It always comes back when you give great service, and you do it from a pure energy, not from an energy of like, well, if I'm going nice to somebody, well, then somebody else has to pay me. It's from a very pure energy of really just being of service, because the service is the thing, and always of service, but not of servitude. It's not of a lesser energy. It's a very high energy. Does that help? Is that useful? And just always be working on warming people up for a sale. And that's by, as I said, continually being of service to people, because it usually takes, yes, you can definitely make money in the short term, absolutely. But it usually takes maybe 3 to 6 months to get a flow of for what you're putting out for today to come back, of people's noticing you with new people. But there's probably already lots of people there already right under your nose that are watching you, and you just don't even realize that they are this close to buying from you. So you make yourself available to be paid and make it easy for people. You contact people that maybe you've spoken to before, and have a chat to them and say, look, you said before that you really needed my help, and you didn't buy at the time. Maybe was the price tag a bit high for you? I say yes. Say, well, you could even put it out there to them. What would be reasonable for you at the moment? And if they come back with a figure that's a good bit lower than what you're offering, say, look, we can work with that. Will we work out something that I can help you with for that amount? And they might go, yeah, that'd be great. And it's just about continually making yourself available to be paid and to do the work. It's not about, selling yourself really cheap or discounting too much. It's about really stating loud and proud to the universe that you are ready, willing and available to do this work, because I know you are. So any questions? Brilliant, thank you. Yes, you're very welcome. Pop any other questions there now, and really let people know when you're in conversation with them about how you could possibly help them. Just continually let them know that you can hear them. And one of the best ways to do that is just to keep reflecting back to them what they've said. So you stop them throughout the conversation, said, if we can just pause for a minute there. What I'm hearing you say is A, B, and C. Is that correct? And I go, yeah, that's exactly right. Or yeah, yes, and something else. And you can say, is there anything else you can add to that? And that really helps them to know that they are being heard. And one thing when it comes to the mindset of sales and selling with feeling safe to sell with a big, wide open heart, is to know you're not selling yourself. You're not selling, as I said before, you're not selling your self-worth. You are selling the destination. And so many people, when they're trying to sell, they're trying to sell the plane rather than the gorgeous island the plane is going to. And so stop selling the vessel, stop selling the you, and that you're good enough to do this and you're okay. You're selling the destination. How is their life going to be different? How will their life change once they've done this work? And what's their worth to them? And you've got to people will pay to have their problems fixed. It's the only thing they really pay for, is to have their problems fixed. So yeah, even if they're buying entertainment, they're still solving a problem of maybe boredom or frustration or whatever. So you are always, always, always selling to fix someone's problem. So you've got to get very clear on what that problem is. And sometimes we can brush over that an awful lot because we feel we don't want to be prying too much. We don't want to be digging around too much. But the more that you get clear on their problem, the more they'll pay. The bigger the problem they've got, the more they'll pay. So you've got to really establish that with them. What is this problem, and what else, and what else? And you get their permission to do that, of course. And you really have to make yourself available for that, to really stay there with them. And the more that they are warmed up before the call to you, the more that they've seen you before, even if they are new to you, the more that they will go there with you, because they trust you a whole lot more. You know, it's always the know, like, and trust factor that comes into it. So sell the results, sell the destination, sell the beautiful island and how they'll feel when they get there, and what a difference it's going to make in their life to actually finally fix this part, or to move them along to that part. Maybe they're going on a world trip and you're selling the first island and then when they've done that island, then you're going to sell, like, well, you could go home now, or you could keep on going and keep on moving along, and that's what you're going to be selling then after that. Any other questions? Let me know. We wrap up. So you just know that it takes time. We get very, we can get very impatient with wanting it all to land and be there today, and not to want to finish the week without knowing there's more money coming in. But, you know, you really do have to have that trust and that belief, and know that you've got the offers that people actually want. And just think of it like, before today finishes, what's 3 things you can do? What's 3 things? 3 emails you could send to people, 3 messages you could put out there, 3 maybe text messages you could send to people saying you're thinking of them, you've got something that you think could help them, would they like to hop on the phone tomorrow at 12 o'clock? Or, you know, just reach out, think of 3 things that you could do, maybe go into your group and put out an offer, and just really make yourself available to help people. And then you can move them along to the next step then. And as I said at the beginning of this training, that, you know, think about how you can open up your heart to make yourself available to close the sale. So very often I just think the word love. I just think the word love, and it just kind of changes my energy. I do it sometimes when I walk in to my home after a day at work, and maybe somebody in the house is a little bit cranky, or maybe there's a bit of a mess, or there's something going on that I might react to, and I just think the word love, and I just think it, and it just kind of softens my energy and makes me available for whatever is as it is, and not get into that reaction mode. So what can you do before you start speaking to somebody about and offering your amazing service for them to buy? How can you open your heart? How can you open your heart? What's the best way for you to do that? Is it doing some journaling? Is it meditation? Is it putting on some great music and getting yourself in a great vibe? I mean, really getting yourself into a good vibration, getting really aligned with what you're doing, what you're here to do, who you're here to help, what's the problem that you can solve for people, what's the destination you're taking them to, and just being very clear on that, but really having that belief, really having that trust in that the universe is always conspiring to your greatest good, and that it's all there for you. And it just sometimes takes a little bit more time than we expect it to, but we know, you just have to know that it is there, and be open for money coming from other places, as I said before, and really go on that treasure hunt. Go have a little bit of a look around and see what you can find, and just look for evidence. Start when you really have that belief. If you have a belief that there's not enough, that there's not enough money, there's not enough clients, it's not enough, no one's going to say yes to you, you have that belief, well then you won't see what's actually already there. So once you have that belief that there is so much abundance everywhere, there are so many people that need your help, there are so many people that are more than able and willing to work with you, then you start just looking for the tiniest signs first. Look for the signs, look for that one penny on the ground, look for that. I usually find it in my boys' and my husband's jeans pockets if I'm doing the laundry. I don't always do the laundry. When I do, I always find money. I think, thank you. And I just look at it and I say, thank you, and I put it in my pocket. And I don't lose it down the back of the couch, or I don't leave it in the washing. Just look for signs. It's everywhere. Look for abundance. Like this time of the year, sometimes like you walk into the bank and there's chocolates out on the counter to take. And even if I don't choose to take them, I just still say thank you if they're offered. And whenever I receive any money, I just, thank you, more please. Thank you, more please. I don't say more please to the person who's just paid me, but I just say it to the universe. Thank you, more please, more of that please, because the universe is always conspiring to our greatest good. So let me know if you have any comments or questions. If you're watching the replay of this, I would love to know what you think. I'm going to pop in a link here for if anybody who's watching this or watching the replay feels like they need some help with sales, needs help to really open up the heart to close the sale. I would love to have a conversation with you if you feel like you'd like to work with me to help you to have a lot more abundance, to get more clients, and to more the clients that are your dream clients doing what you love. I'll pop a link here, and you can book yourself a free clarity call with me, and I can give you some tips on how to do that, and we can talk about how I can help you further. But thank you so much for being here, and have a magnificent rest of your day. Okay, bye for now. Lots of love.